What's up, high school graduates and your Uncle Steven, who will probably never amount to shit? Welcome to Nerd Daddies.
Welcome back, guys. At least we have a new episode this week, of course, coming out. So, what's been going on with you guys these past 2 weeks since we've, not been recording?
So we've been going to a lot of graduations, considering I guess it's graduation week. I don't know. I don't keep up with the stuff since my kid's not in school and I don't go to school currently. But we just went to a graduation for my wife's sister, and there were it was a small auditorium with 1,000 people in it, and it just was really not enjoyable. I'm just tired of going to these.
Those things are never fun, mainly because it's always hot as shit there.
Yeah, and it was horrible, and everybody was packed into the hallways like sardines. And my daughter was crying, so I was trying to push through everybody, and it was horrible.
Yeah, that just makes for a bad experience, no matter what.
It's like whenever you get to that age you think you're done with graduations, then it's like, nope. It's like never ending.
So true. Well, speaking of graduations, of course, my oldest is still in pre-K, but of course she graduated pre-K and is going to start kindergarten in the fall. So they had a graduation ceremony and stuff like that on Friday, which is pretty fun to watch. Seeing as how I guess halfway through it, since her name was called first, she kind of had to stand there through 40 other kids' names. So, and there was a half wall right next to her. And halfway through, she was just laying her head on the half wall. She was going to go to sleep or something.
That's great.
Yeah, you could tell she got bored.
Those are more fun to go to, the pre-K and kindergarten graduation.
Oh, yeah.
Versus a high school.
And then they show a lot of past photos and stuff like that. And, a little sad seeing them grow up. It goes by really fast. It really does.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing about parenthood nobody ever tells you about. They always say, oh, newborns are so easy, and the terrible threes, and all this, and it's they never tell you how fast it flies by.
Yep, no joke on that one. But to go along with your terrible threes, they also don't tell you about the terrible twos, terrible fours, terrible fives, terrible all ages, essentially.
Well, here's another thing too. They always say, "Oh, newborns are so easy." No, hell, they're not. You're not getting any sleep. You're going on 2 to 3 hours.
But I think we said this in another episode before, or at least Alex did, where people are like, "Oh, having a baby is so wonderful. Having a kid's so wonderful." And then you have the kid, and then that same person's like, "Welcome to being a parent."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the old switcheroo.
Oh, yeah.
Got your ass.
Gotcha, bitch.
I got crazy lucky because I didn't have to deal with the lack of sleep and everything for a month, and my kid only got up once during the night, and that's all she got up.
Okay, you can shut the hell up, Alex. I don't want to hear it.
But I like to brag about it because I didn't have to deal with your pain.
See, that's how our youngest was, though. She woke up once when she was little to eat, and that was it. And then after that, she's the best sleeper we've ever had.
Well, you wait, Alex. If y'all have another one, y'all are doomed.
I will await that, and I will accept that, knowing it's my fault.
Yeah, you set yourself up there, sir.
So I also watched this video on. We're gonna have to dance around this a lot because I don't want to get anybody coming after me. That sounds horrible. But there's a semi-famous cult in our town. Everybody knows about it because there's a certain establishment they run that people go to. Anyway, but I watched this whole video of this guy who he basically goes undercover and lives in that cult, like at their establishment, for 3 weeks straight. And he lives there, sleeps there, like he has spy glasses on and records everything. And it is, I'm gonna have to send it to you guys. It's insane the length they go to and the lies they tell these people to like gain their trust and learn more. But it's like a really interesting watch, and it's really scary how far.
How old was that video?
So he started a series. That video is like I think a couple months old. But he started a 20-part series where he is going back into other sections of the cult over and over and trying to learn more and more
Wow.
and basically take down the cult from the outside. But I don't know, he's like a teenager who looks like he's just trying to start some shit. So I don't know how real his intentions are there, but it's good content.
But like I know who you're talking about, and I've seen like there was a documentary. It was like a series on Amazon Prime that I watched. But this was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, this one was pretty recent. But it was like he goes in depth on like their beliefs and like what they do as punishment and the crazy different things. Like whenever you actually join it, you have to sign over. Like you sign this contract where you give them your keys, your car, your house, like everything. They even went so far as to make a spare copy of a key and then get their locks at their house changed so that they could pretend to give it to them. They went really far.
Jeez. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about, TJ, like a couple, like 5 years ago or whatever, the documentary that came out. And I think that's kind of what was jolting my memory when he was saying, like, the person went undercover kind of deal thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of these cults are crazy. I mean,
Sorry.
how they convince people to join them and the people that believe what they're saying too. I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I can't understand like the mindset. And see, like the same one you're talking about there, Alex. We visited back in college. We did several Bible studies there and had several conversations with people there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they seem nice, but once you delve deeper and deeper, it gets weirder and weirder, and like
For sure.
it's just it's a lot.
And see, like I've been here on a kick here lately on like documentaries. Like it almost seems like I'm always watching documentaries, but like the last few documentaries has been about like cults. Like I just finished like a couple months ago the Waco like mini documentary series on
Oh yeah,
Netflix.
Oh, I like that one. That one's good. I've watched that one.
Speaking of cults, like holy shit.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Did you also watch the mini series that they made about it too?
No, I have not. Like I remember when it came out, but I never watched it.
Yeah, I watched the miniseries after I watched the documentary, and it was, I don't know, it just made it more realistic too. Other than just watching the documentary, but also how they kind of portrayed things. It's just like that's insane.
Yeah, see, like I remember we were like what 6 years old when that happened,
Yup.
and like I remember like growing up, I remember hearing about it, knowing about it, but I never knew the extent of it. I always thought, oh, the government came in there, they got shot up, then they came back with tanks and just bulldozed the place over. I didn't realize there was like literally like 57 days standoff between
Oh, I know.
when they first
oh
showed
jeez.
up. Yeah. Like, there's a whole lot more to it than what I remembered.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I've been getting into. My wife and I have been kind of binging it, and it's it's really entertaining because it's so weird that we live in a town that just has a cult so knowingly in it and know absolutely nothing about it, and nobody acts like it's weird or anything.
Have y'all been there? Okay, so they give off the whole hippie vibe.
Yeah, they give off a very, very hippie vibe, and it's like very old school America, kind
And
of.
that's when they were kind of born. Like that's when they like first came out. Was like during the 60s, 70s, like
Yeah,
the revolution or the New Age revolution, and they just kind of like took off from there. And it's I don't know. Like every time we go in there, it's almost a culture shock.
I'm kind of surprised they're still around, truthfully.
Yeah.
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 And just to, I feel like we have to say this at this point because every time I hear us going over to the establishment, it sounds like we're going to like a whorehouse or something. It's a restaurant. We went and ate at the restaurant
Okay.
and didn't know what it was. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did not do anything illegal. We were not buying things or other stuff. We
I
just
don't
were
know.
eating.
In some states, it's not illegal. Just saying.
Yeah. There you go.
Jesus.
Wow. I guess another thing new this week for me, my wedding anniversary is on this coming Wednesday, so we would have been married for I think it's 8 years now. So it's been not that long, but feels like forever.
Yeah, that seems like just yesterday.
Yeah, no joke. And then one other thing that I might argue with Alex over. I don't know if TJ has or not yet, but we did go see Guardians of the Galaxy last night, and meh, it's just okay.
Oh yeah, fuck off, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, it's just okay.
No, that's great.
Please, no spoilers.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
nah. So, truthfully, I think I like 1 and 2 better than the third one.
That's just no. The second
And
one's just bad.
and I thought the second one was not that great.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
I like
no.
the second one. I thought the second one was fine.
yeah, believe me, third
I
one
didn't like it.
is not as good.
Dude,
Just
it's
saying.
great.
So
Even-
overhyped to me. So yeah, you're going to.
And then in the next month, you need to watch it so we can really argue about it for real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a triple debate.
That's why I just wanted to kind of bring it up because I figured TJ hadn't saw it yet, so or seen it yet, whatever word it's supposed to be.
God, you're so wrong though. You're just actively wrong.
But I figured once he sees it, then we could have a really good spoiler debate on it. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah. And then one more thing that kind of leads into our next kind of thing that we were going to kind of talk about is I finally got to play the Diablo 4 beta, the server slam last weekend, which was fun as shit. We only played it, 2 nights with Alex and his wife? But that brings me back to when I played, like when Diablo 2 first came out. And growing up, that's what I played, was Diablo 2. That was like the main game I played. And it was always fun. And to see how they've progressed the game since then it's pretty neat. So
Yeah, it's nice how they've taken feedback from people, and really kind of catered Diablo 3 system a little bit more towards Diablo 2, and just kind of had a best of both worlds.
yeah, I would agree with that.
So TJ, what have you been getting into?
Shit, dude, I feel bored as hell. I do know as soon as we get off recording tonight's episode, I know Kate and I are gonna jump on and watch Dungeons and Dragons new movie. They just started streaming it on Paramount Plus tonight, so we're gonna watch that. Have a little date night in.
Very cool. Yeah, that movie looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was planning to watch it this weekend with my wife, and then she got sick, and we just kind of ran out of time.
I've heard nothing but great things about it. So like, saw that it was on Paramount Plus, and so we're like, "Yep, I'm gonna watch that tonight." So, and then shit. So my gas lawnmower, like the pull start assembly on it, like snapped. Like when I was in the middle of the mowing the yard like a couple weeks ago, just snapped on me. So like I was telling a buddy of mine at work about it, that he let me borrow his electric mower. So I've been using an electric mower the last few weeks to mow the yard. To say it's pretty nice. If it wasn't for the size of my yard, I would definitely get a electric mower.
Yeah, they've come a long way with them. They're pretty handy, especially if you have a small lawn. Like I've been thinking about getting one just because like starting my gas mower one, it was I think we got it for free, and it might have been Logan's old one. But sometimes when I start it up, like black smoke comes out, and I'm like, this thing's probably about to go.
Oh my god, it's not been taken care of. Probably
No,
before you got it. That's probably why it's doing that.
no, and after I probably haven't taken care of it either.
But yeah, for your size yard though, Alex, electric would probably be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see electric working for your yard, but like it was great. Like he was able to let me borrow his mower because I mean he has a Ryan mower. He only uses the push mower on like the side of his yard. So like him being able to let me use his mower like was great. But like for me to mow my whole yard, it took like 2.5 days because I mean he did have two batteries and they were fast charge. It's just like it was
yeah, I could see that with your yard. Yeah, that's the only problem with them is like whenever I worked at a storage place, for some reason my coworker was like, "Oh, we'll cut the lawn and you don't have to pay the guys anymore." And I wasn't going to do it, but then he quit a week after announcing that. So I had to do it, and we got an electric mower with two batteries, and we literally it would take us days and days and days to cut the whole lawn
yeah,
because they would just die, and then they don't last very long.
yeah. I mean
I mean, they even make like riding mowers that are battery powered now.
yeah.
And
Oh wow.
they take like 4 or 5 of those big 40-volt batteries or whatever.
Yeah,
So
like I saw that and I'm like, damn, that's like, I mean, it's fucking awesome, but at the same time, it's like, it's time consuming. It's just, whereas a like regular like motor lawnmower, it's just,
Yeah, like a gas mower.
yeah, gas mower, I can knock that out in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's definitely more like once you get it started, you can just go. You don't have to worry about it unless you run out of gas. But like it's as long as you fill it up beforehand,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
and see, I always have gas on hand, and that's like the other thing. And I could be more strategic. Like when I was using his mower, like as soon as I knew I was at a certain percentage with the battery on the mower, I would start like weed eating around the yard or start blowing
Yeah,
all the grass off the driveway or out of the road. So like I could like I timed it off of that. So I mean it wasn't so bad, but it's just still
that little inconvenience whenever you're mowing the lawn just will piss you off to no end. I already hate mowing the lawn personally. I'm weird, but um, if it's gonna fuck up the time at all, it'll irritate me.
I think I love like mowing the yard. Like that's my meditation. That's where I find my peace. Like I put my earbuds in, I'm listening to podcasts, and I'm just like mowing the yard. Like it's out in the sun, fresh air. Like I'm in my haven.
So yeah, I feel like I've signed an agreement with God that like if I sweat, He's allowed to forgive like one sin. Um, so I don't know where I'm going with that, but I fucking hate mowing the
And as soon as you said,
lawn.
as soon as you said sweating, I just immediately thought when you played soccer with us that summer.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. As soon as I sweat somewhere, I'm done. And that's that's why I don't like being outside.
Even the last 4 minutes for that game.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is what I remember. There was a video that went viral a couple years ago? Guy mowing the yard, just like fucking Naruto running, mowing his yard. That's what I imagine you mow your yard.
That's
Oh
so
no, it's straight uphill.
true.
If I ran like that straight uphill, that thing would fall back on
Oh
me
god.
and chop my legs
Oh
off.
god.
I would be interested to see how you mow the yard.
Very half-assed. Incredibly half-assed. I'm ready to be done. Literally, I cut all but a corner of my yard when I cut it last time,
Oh my god.
and it's already
Damn.
grown all back. So I'm like, all right, well, this is all kind of high, and over there is the fucking Amazon
Oh
jungle.
my god. See, like I'm a perfectionist. Like I have to like if I just miss like an inch of a certain blade over on one row, like it fucking irks the hell out of me.
I usually go by after I'm done so that I can see the strips that I missed and just grab the grass with my bare hand and rip it off.
I mean, I do that too, but still, it bothers the hell out of me.
That's what a weed eater's for.
Yeah.
That's fair. I hate weed eating too. I just don't like lawns.
I mean, shit. What? A week ago when I mowed, that's when I was weed eating in my backyard underneath the trees and stuff. And of course, I'm like covered in poison ivy the day after. So
Oh man.
that's been
No.
fun, and it's still on me. It's finally like healing up really good now, so it's not as itchy and stuff anymore. But man, that's been fun.
Yeah. Where'd you get it? The hand, like arms and legs.
Both my legs are covered, and on
Oh,
my neck.
Ooh.
oh, that's the worst spot.
No, that's not the worst spot.
No,
Well,
that's
I've
definitely
had
not
it.
the worst.
I've had it in the worst spot. Just FYI.
I never got it on my dick. I don't think.
Okay, I wasn't.
I think we know what it is.
I mean, yes, but God.
I also never understood. Sorry, side tangent. I also never understood people talk about eating hot things, and they're like, "Oh, don't touch your eyes, especially don't touch your downstairs." Who is eating a fucking hot wing and then touching their pee hole?
That's so true.
I don't understand that either.
I never got that. I will never get that. If I eat hot wings,
Ooh,
I don't have a like. Let me grab my penis right now.
ooh, it's getting hot and spicy. Let me grab my penis.
Yeah,
Getting steamy in here.
want my dick to feel the burn. Honestly, I think whenever this podcast takes off and we all become celebrities, and I am like cell phone best friends with Whoopi Goldberg, I want to be on an episode of Hot Ones.
Why Whoopi Goldberg?
And why do you
Oh,
want to be on the hot ones?
Yeah.
so I want to. Okay, I'll answer Hot Ones and then Whoopi. I want to be on Hot Ones because I always liked spicy food, and I don't know, interviews sound interesting. Just sounds fun to be asked questions and try to come up with bullshit answers. That's kind of what we do on the podcast every week.
Okay. Yeah. Fair
So
enough.
that just sounds fun, and free chicken wings is always nice. I'm not going to be one of the contestants on there that gets the like plant-based whatever. I want chicken wings. I
Okay.
want
Fuck
good chicken
you.
wings. Sorry, feels like shots fired. Did not mean
No,
it.
I know.
Um,
Couldn't.
no, I don't know. My friends and I have always had like an affinity towards Whoopi Goldberg, and I think that's because like some of the characters we plays, sure she's played in movies, we would use as memes. To the point where we literally like we knew this one friend of ours that always left his car unlocked in high school, and I went to the computer lab and printed off 45 pictures of Whoopi Goldberg, and just placed them all around his car and on the outside. And he did not enjoy that. He did not get the reference either. But it was funny.
What? That's random as hell, man.
Man, I remember like growing up though watching Whoopi Goldberg though, and all her old movies. I mean, I'm not gonna say. I mean, she was a good actress
I-
without a doubt.
It felt like she was in everything, though.
She was, yeah. It really
Yeah.
was like she was in everything, no matter what.
Either that or my parents were watching everything Whoopi Goldberg was in.
I mean, that could be the case.
I remember going to Blockbuster and she was on like multiple of the DVDs.
I remember working at Blockbuster.
Oh, Blockbuster, that takes me back.
It was actually a pretty fun job. I mean, that's is how I met my wife, but it was a pretty fun job because you got to rent as many movies and games as you wanted to.
I think I've only ever been into like I don't honestly I don't know if I can truly ever say I've been inside a Blockbuster. Like
Really?
honestly, like we're from a small town, like South Georgia, small as hell. We had movie gallery.
I was just about to kind of go into that. I was like,
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
see, where I lived in Alabama, we had a Blockbuster and a movie gallery. And Blockbuster was more for like the uppity more people versus the lower class people went to movie gallery.
What are you
Oh,
trying
like
to say, Logan?
Publix versus
Whoa,
Walmart.
whoa, whoa! Shots fired there, Logan. What are you trying to say?
What are you talking about? I only went to movie gallery.
Okay.
Logan always knew he was a better person than anybody surrounding him.
But see, we had
Oh.
our small town. We had movie gallery, and then there was video warehouse, which was like a like independent owned like video owned store or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I never went to Blockbuster until I moved up here into Tennessee.
See, my mom used to take me to Blockbuster like all the time, and I have one horrible story related
Oh God.
with Blockbuster. Like my mom took me for some reason I had this issue where I was not going to the bathroom correctly. So
Oh God.
I was at a Blockbuster and I was walking around and I think my mom let me walk by myself and I think my sister was there and she was checking out stuff and I just shit. And I shit and it was a full pebble that rolled down my left leg and popped out the pant leg and I looked down on the ground and there was just shit on their carpet.
Wow, dude. Oh
And
my
Oh my God.
and I panicked so bad. And we had a dog at our house that basically anytime she shit, we wouldn't want her to get in trouble by our dad. So we would pick up her shit and throw it underneath something.
Oh no.
So
Oh
I saw my shit on the carpet
no.
and I picked it up
No.
and I threw it underneath the DVD rack.
Oh no. No.
Damn. Oh my
Oh,
god. That's crazy. Dude.
oh that poor worker. Oh
Yeah,
God.
thinking about them cleaning up the store that night and going, there's a shit here. I hate my job. It makes me feel so bad.
Plot twist, they never found this shit. And then whenever Blockbuster closed, that shit is still there.
Man, that shit's like turned into dust at this point.
Somebody's like, yo, is that a Whopper?
Oh my God. Ugh.
I remember renting like old games and stuff at Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster, but Movie Gallery. It was just crazy how like we go from renting cartridge games to, buying everything online.
Yeah, it's all digital now.
Yeah, I even remember I used to do GameFly back in the day where like they would send you a DVD or like the disc for the game or even, Redbox used to do that, Netflix used to do that where they would send you those and now it's just like nowadays you either wait for it to come on a streaming platform or for games you wait for Xbox Live or PlayStation to make it one of their free games of the month.
But I don't know. There's the old a lot of things that I remember. The main thing I always go back to is not game related, but Surge. I don't know. To me, it's like the best soda out there. I'm just saying.
I don't. I see Surge. I remember when Surge was around. Like that was all the like praise back in the day. But I also remember Vanilla Coke. Whenever like because it came out what in the early 70s, and then they reintroduced it in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only around for a short period of time. Like that's like, I remember me and my buddy being at his grandparents' house and like drinking a whole pack of like a 12-pack of vanilla Coke, being fucking wired.
I never liked the vanilla Coke, but I mean, I can relate just with Surge because, of course, they brought back Surge like back in, I don't even know, 2012,
14?
2014, something like that.
It
Yeah.
was like 2013, 2014.
And I
It wasn't
remember,
that long ago.
yeah. And I remember like buying it all the time. It was so good.
You guys remember Vault?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that was like the replacement to Surge was Vault.
Yeah. It was like Mountain Dew.
I drank the hell out of that
Oh,
in
yeah.
college.
Oh yeah, I tore that stuff up too because I'm like I needed a replacement. And Mellow Yellow was good,
Ugh.
but I liked Vault better.
The Red Vault. I don't know if you ever remember the Red Vault. That was the shit.
The thing I know I've learned though is with, I'm sure other people have noticed it too, but like with Coke products, when they're about to discontinue items, that's when you can get them for like $1 at like gas stations and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when you know they're being discontinued, is when the gas stations are selling them for dirt ass cheap.
And that's probably why I bought it all the time in college, because that's when like it dipped down to like 99 cents, or I think it even went down to what, 89 cents at one point.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, I do miss Vault though too. That was such a good drink.
And that was the first one that was coined as like a soda slash energy drink, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty sure. Yeah. See, they need to stop remaking old movies and then need to start like giving us the old snacks back.
Well, they have like Dunkaroos are back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them they've done it too, but like some of the I don't know, like Lego gummies and like some other older ones they haven't ever brought back.
Like
Burrito 3Ds.
yeah, but they're not as
They
good
brought them
though.
back, but they're so bad.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been able. I can't really.
Oh, fair.
I just know they came back. Sorry.
They saw you and they saw your V card and they were like, no, oh shit.
My V card. Wow. Oh my
your
God.
vegan card.
Fruitopia. Do y'all remember that?
Oh yeah.
Like
I
the
do.
cream bites.
No.
No.
This was like a drink.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like a fruity drink. They had like a bunch of different flavors and like the I think it came out in like the mid to late 90s
Yeah.
or whatever. I just remember getting it in elementary school because we had a vending machine in the cafeteria, and that was like the thing to get. It's like, man, if you could get a Fruitopia for lunch, that would be cool.
Let's just say back in our day, they did not give a shit about our sugar intake or what
Hell
no.
no,
drinking.
hell no.
'Cause
There was no keto.
just Fruitopia alone, holy damn, dude.
Hey there. Are you tired of scrolling through endless podcast directories trying to find the perfect show to match your interest? Well, look no further. Introducing Podbreed, the ultimate podcast discovery platform that tailors to your unique taste. With Podbreed, you can discover podcasts from a wide range of genres, from true crime and comedy to self-improvement and business. It's your one-stop destination for all things podcast. So check out Podbreed now on the Apple App Store, Google Play, and podbreed.com.
Okay, guys. So this week for Father's Face Off, we're doing another Daddy debate. We're doing retro versus new age, where Logan is taking the side of retro games, and Alex is on the side for new age. So they're going to give me a couple of points of why they think retro versus new age is better, and then I may or may not have some questions for them. So let's start with Alex. What you got for me?
All right. So as far as new age games, you definitely have the blooming of competitive games. You have competitive shooters like Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Valorant, Overwatch, everything coming out and really shining on new systems. You have developed a completely different subgenre of not only gaming but esports. You've created competition similar to what ESPN can do, but for people like me who don't give a fuck about sports. I want to watch some esports. I want to watch Smash Brothers tournaments. I want to watch Valorant tournaments. And Old Age does not have any of that. They did have Street Fighter, I think Street Fighter 2 that gained some competition, but really it didn't take off until after around the age of like the PS4, where competitive fighters really took off, and competitive shooters really took off. So that's my starting point.
I'd have to disagree though, because you have Tetris competitions, Pong, Mortal Kombat even. I mean, seriously, Super Smash Brothers was a retro game at this point.
But the viewership on those things was non-existent until at least Mortal Kombat 9.
But they still existed way before the new age stuff. And my thing with, I guess, with the old stuff at this point, retro gaming, the thing with retro games though is they will make you want to cry because of how hard they are sometimes. And new age games are just not like that. You just got to turn down the difficulty and you could just breeze through them. But with old school games, even like regular or normal mode is a lot harder than even like hard mode nowadays is.
So much so that older games that you have, how many of them have you actually 100% beat? New age games have raised the accessibility on their games. It doesn't matter if, Mega Man 11 is hard as hell normally. You can change it down to easy and just play it so you can enjoy it for the work that they've done, the art they've done, the story they've created. You can just enjoy the game without having to worry about it. And if you want a challenge, you can still turn up that difficulty. And then if you want punishment, you can play Elden Ring.
Yeah, there's still, even though you turn it up, the difficulty, it's still not as challenging as if you're playing like an old school SNES game or even all the way back to Nintendo even too. It's just not. The feel of games they just were a lot more difficult. Which is also why they had cheat codes back then. In new games, they don't have cheat codes in. Or at least not anymore. Past past PS2, there's not really any cheat codes that I even can remember.
So while there are no cheat codes in new games, you have games such as Mario embracing the community that wishes the games were harder with games like Mario Maker and mods such as Mario Kaizo. There are games that have completely flipped the script on the hate from the difficulty level diminishing and just taken that, rode with it, and created new products that everybody loves. So you can play Mario Maker if you suck at Mario, or you can play Mario Maker and do the hardest, craziest spin shell jumps that you could ever imagine. So there is just more accessibility for people that aren't good at it, and there's still a world for people who want the punishing gameplay, the people that want the hard games. And certain developers know that, and that's why they make games such as Celeste and all these roguelikes that have come out that just make the games back into, here's this punishment that you miss.
That's the turn that games have done. Is it went from indie developers making games to big companies making games. Now it's moving back more towards indie games now, or whatever. Instead, I mean, you still have your big companies, but there's a lot of indie developers out there. And my thing with retro games is when gaming was still evolving, the ideas for games were endless at the time. And then now, I mean, there's so many games made nowadays. And are they really that ingenious of ideas for a game? Or is it just Call of Duty 55 at this point, or Madden 23 or whatever, It's just they keep just adding a couple of little tweaks to a game from last year and rebranding it as something new. Versus back in the old day, it was something truly new.
So while there are a level of, the cheap, thoughtless remakes of hell, Madden 24, Madden 23, Madden 22, the new Call of Duties, there is a level of that, just like there is in movie making. But there is also a level of, let's take Final Fantasy VII, a game that's beloved on the original PlayStation. Let's completely turn the first 6 hours of that game and make it into its own brand new game. Let's flesh out every part, every dream that we had for that first 8 hours. Let's make it its own full game. Let's flesh out every character. Let's give side missions. They're not only taking these old games, but they're completely reimagining them and making them what they wish they could have back in the day. The vision they had for the game is finally fulfilled. And then you're also getting original ideas like like Breath of the Wild, where they have taken a Legend of Zelda game and made it into an open world game that has survival aspects, a fleshed out story, and just overall has turned the world on its head, even with its recent sequel.
Oh, okay. So some good points so far. So I do have one question for y'all. What is the one game to convince anyone, myself or anyone else listening, why we should choose retro versus new age? What's the first game you're suggesting them play?
Mario Brothers, the original, plain and simple. And if you want to go in, I mean, there's a ton more that I would definitely recommend playing, but Mario Brothers is a classic. And there's nothing like popping in the cartridge and just hitting that button and just having it pop up and work. It was just awesome. It instantaneously working. You don't have to hit the power button on your console, then you have to log in, or I don't even have a newer system nowadays. I don't even know, but then opening up the game and then waiting for it to load on some loading screen. It was just click and done. It was great.
Okay. What do you have to say to that, Alex? What's the one game that you're suggesting that is new age, is hands over better? Like, this is the game you need to play that convinces everyone new age is better than retro.
So I want to say God of War, but I'm going to say Spider-Man for the PlayStation 5. Um, it's got a completely good fleshed out story that's pretty true to the comics. It's got incredible mechanics with the web slinging. It's got mostly an open world. It's got a lot of side missions, a lot of story, and a lot of exploration can be done in it. Not only that, but with the PlayStation 5's solid state drive, unlike retro game systems, when you go from one area to another, there's no loading screen. There's not a single loading screen at all. When you go from one world to another world, even on the N64, when Link was going from the fields onto the Goro Mountain, it would take a solid minute just to load that. New age systems don't need that.
Okay. That kind of leads into my next question is convenience. What on the side of retro or new age would make my life more convenient if I was to play?
We have games for weight loss. We have Wii Fit, we have Zumba games, and we have peripherals that you will use. You will have to move. You will have motion controls. You will have a Wii Fit pad. You will have things you have to use to prove that you are actively working out so you can enjoy the game. So not only are you being entertained, but your life is getting better. Not to mention the Nintendo Switch, which is not only a mobile system, such as a Game Boy, like the retro people had, that required batteries. This one charges. So the Nintendo Switch is not only mobile, but if you want to go home and play on your big TV, all you have to do is slap it into a dock. It charges while it plays. the graphics get better, it runs better, and the controllers are wireless.
Yeah, but the retro stuff, it was more simple when it comes to peripherals and hooking things up. You had a power cable, and of course, just the one plug, and it fit in pretty much every TV. Now you start getting into like the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and stuff like that, and then I'm pretty sure there was adapters for HDMI for the PlayStation 2. I can't remember on the second gen one or whatever, the Slim, but but a lot of the older ones, I mean, the controllers were just simple, and that's also what made games harder too. Is that you had to think more to play your game.
So you had to think more because you were using the N64's jank-ass controller that nobody can figure out how to hold correctly, that nobody could fit comfortably in their hands while they played. Or you could go for the Dreamcast controller. You know, the one with the tiny screen on it that looks like a TI-84 calculator? Yeah, you could use that.
I mean, I will say those are two of like the worst controllers ever made, without a doubt.
Not to mention, the Game Gear that came out is just a shitty version of the Switch.
Yeah, but without it, you wouldn't have the Switch.
What game on the Game Gear do I want on my Nintendo Switch?
Well, I mean, Sega. There is a Sega emulator for the Switch,
There is
so
a Sega emulator.
apparently people want it, and
You know how many
Nintendo
times I've
provided.
downloaded it?
Well, you also have to pay for the online subscription to get it. So,
And I won't.
to me, there's nothing like it. It's fun to own the old school stuff. It's hard to get nostalgic about a PlayStation 3 game or a PlayStation 4 game or an Xbox 360 game because it's just a boring ass disc. Yeah, I know the PlayStation 1 and 2 are discs, but just the way they presented everything is just so much better. And the cartridges are just fucking cool as shit to own.
Well, I do agree that the cartridges are better, or cooler to own. They also come with the problem that sometimes I have to give a cartridge oral sex so it will work.
I'm not gonna lie, you do. That's so true. But I mean, retro consoles do last. If you keep them clean and stuff, they last. Whereas they don't get the red ring of death, or they get bricked or whatever from an update.
Nice call.
Okay.
Nice call.
Okay. There's some very good arguments there. Y'all have anything else to say before we end this segment?
Yeah, I've got a closing statement.
Okay. So we'll give y'all a closing segment and then we'll let everybody else decide.
So the people that are all for the old school games, I get it. I used to be there. I used to, the old school RPGs are the best and everything. But you have to realize that you get lonely. You get lonely because the best games at the old school time were single player games. Sometimes I don't want to play with single players. Sometimes I want to play a game with my wife, or sometimes I want to play a game with my fellow daddies. I want to play a multiplayer game that is not going to have an issue where I've plugged my controller into the wrong port. I want to be able to enjoy a storyline that I can play with them, where I don't have to load, where I don't have to have problems with the controller fitting weirdly in my hand and she's not able to use it. I just want to enjoy a nice game where I can sit on my couch, not have to worry about cords and my kid tripping over the cords. I just want to play a nice work of art.
And that's why you buy a retro game. Exactly. It's a work of art. Nowadays, they're not works of art, or they're very far and few between. But the nostalgia with owning the old systems nowadays and people that grew up playing those older games versus and now playing the newer ones versus people that never grew up with the old ones and trying to go back and play the old ones, they don't get it because they grew up with all this new stuff. Like we grew up before cell phones were even popular, if they even existed. Truthfully, they were giant battery packs in your car. Was like the first one, and I mean, to me, they were a solid investment. We'll even go that route too, because I mean, nowadays you can get some money for some old school stuff. Where yeah, you can get some money for the new stuff, but the new stuff already costs an arm and a leg to begin with. It's just not a really good investment. It's kind of like a car. Once you buy it, it automatically depreciates.
Okay, that's some very solid argument points on both sides. I saw myself going back and forth on either side, but we'll let y'all decide who won this week's Daddy debate. Y'all have anything else to add?
No, think I'm good.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good here.
All right, so again, we'll let y'all you hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere on our platforms to say who you thought or what you think is better, retro versus new games. And then that'll put us into our favorite of the week.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go back to kind of what I've already said before. My favorite of the week, of course, is my oldest is going into kindergarten and everything, and that's watching her, do her little graduation and stuff like that was really fun. Brought back good memories of the past 5 years.
Wholesome.
Great.
Well, I think my favorite this week would have to be the One Piece series I'm reading on Shonen Jump's app. You guys have heard about it enough, but it's getting good, and I'm getting to I'm getting to the Wano arc, so it's getting really cool, and Luffy's getting really strong. So it's nice to see how the series has evolved and how much it differs from the other big three.
It's great seeing someone else enjoy that.
I really need to try it again. It's been so long since I've even tried reading a manga
Oh, it's
or
so fun.
manga, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Manga.
manga. But yeah, I really do need to try it again. So
See, so my favorite of the week, I would have to say, uh, would be, but I would say, so my favorite of the week would be, I know we do this every 2 weeks, but would be right now would be us recording our podcast. Us as busy as our lives are, as like especially with having kids and having demanding jobs and having to work the hours that we work, but it would be right now recording and being able to do these episodes and be able to essentially shoot the shit with each other and have what what normally we would have spending our weekends together and doing who knows what, getting into who knows what. Uh, this right now would be my favorite of the week. Getting sentimental on you guys there, but yeah.
yeah, I definitely enjoy doing this with you guys and chatting it up.
No, yeah, for sure.
Seeing what crazy thing the next one's gonna say.
Exactly.
All right, but guys, if you liked what you saw in this episode, make sure to give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to us on. We're available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a plethora of others. You can find it on our website as well. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at Nerd Daddies and hit that notification bell so you can make sure to keep up with us every time we post a new episode.
Also, don't forget to comment on anywhere that you're listening to us or see us at.
And of course, always, like Alex said, check out our website. Definitely add some extra content there. You can also comment and everything like that. So we'll see you guys next time.
Peace!
Bye!